Thank you. And I'd like to thank Mayor Markelt and the members of the West Valley City Council for giving me the opportunity to address some concerns here tonight. As I said before, my name is Deveraux. I lived in West Valley for about 10 years. The issue I wish to bring to your attention is the habitual excessive reaction of some officers in the West Valley City Police Department when responding to a man with a gun on 911 call. Especially when that man or woman is committing crime in perfect accordance with Utah State Code and law. On December 6, 2007, while I walked in to get some exercise, I was held at gunpoint by a Granite School District police officer and informed that if I touched my gun, I would be killed. I was ordered to lay down on the ground, and which I did, followed command. West Valley City police officers responded to the scene as well, and my firearm was illegally taken from a secure holster, and I was illegally detained on the West Valley City sidewalk on the street. Myself and many others have had several other encounters similar to this, where officers have simply ignored Utah state law and has continued by just peacefully walking on the street with an open firearm. And I'd like to address that both concealed weapon permit holders and non-permit holders can do so. There are certain technicalities that separate them, but laws are restrictive and not permissive, and there's no law against it. I'm very grateful to live in a country where that protects my individual right to carry a firearm. I can gladly say that I became a U.S. citizen in January of this year, after 9 years. And I'm grateful for being able to continue originally. And it's an awesome opportunity to live in a country where we have rights, where we have visions of people who succeed and exceed. The right to keep arms is part not only of the U.S. Constitution, but the Utah Constitution, which is clearly by the Article 1, Section 6 of the Constitution. The Utah State Code ensures that these rights are not infringed by county or city government by signing out of Federal State Convention, Title 76, Chapter 10, 500. And recently I spoke with the West Valley City officer who was off duty at the time. He says it's pretty much procedure to respond with 3 to 4 cars or officers or units with a nail gun, which is really a waste of resources because of people who are walking there. And I would like to see the address for them to not waste the resources and be addressed to get a little bit of a different procedure to it. We are being deprived of the right to walking down the street like this. And I'm here tonight to encourage you, Mayor, to speak with the Chief of Police, Nelson, and Mr. Kagan, our city attorney, to reform the police policy response to individuals illegally carrying a firearm. This problem should be dealt with by issuing a simple training bulletin for officers regarding the legality of open carry. I'd also like to acknowledge that the Attorney General, or shortly, also acknowledges the legality of open carry as well, and the director of identification as well. I do appreciate the fantastic job that the officers in West Valley City do, because they do respond when they have to. And I've noticed that myself and several occasions when needed. But I also must commend, really, that the changes need to be made to address certain issues. For example, problem harassment and illegal search and seizure that have been experienced by myself and several other law-abiding citizens and also legal residents, and as well as visitors to our city. If this trend continues, the harassed will force to take some type of legal action in order to protect our rights. And I'd like to thank you all for your time and very much appreciate that.
Thank you. Mr. Deveraux, are you aware of the policy that we have in the city for complaining about police action or police policy?
I'm not going to 100%, but there's certain information I have for other guesses.
I believe that it was in either 1989 or 1990 that West Valley City established a professional standards review board, is what it's called. It's a group of citizens that are appointed by Mr. Powell, the city manager, and ratified by the members of the city council for the sole purpose of reviewing citizens' complaints on police action or police policy, and they also review every incident on deadly force, whether there's a citizen complaint or not. And there is a formal policy that has served this city well, and I would encourage you to take advantage of that. In our form of government, as elected officials, the only employee we can talk to about policy is the city manager. It would be inappropriate for us to have that kind of a dialogue with the police chief or any police officer. That is the responsibility of the city manager. But I don't even think that would be necessary. In this kind of a situation, I think you would be best served by going through that professional standards process and see if you like the results.
Absolutely, I will do that as well, and have that in mind and be encouraged by doing so. But this is just another way to get the word out and to understand that there is an ongoing problem, and we're legal citizens, and we're definitely for what you guys are doing here, gentlemen and ladies. And we just want to get it out and understanding and to work on it.
Rest assured, we support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Utah and the laws of the state of Utah.
I know you do, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time.
How many of you came in support of this issue tonight? Would you raise your hand? Thank you very much. We appreciate you being there.